The Transformers Slag is back, and we're here to talk about a Generations toy that has been revealed to us. It's one that we kind of knew that was coming. The funny thing is that originally when we were talking about this mold, that being the Generations War for Cybertron Siege Prowl mold, when we had Toy Fair, it was a couple of months ago, we were shown a teaser of a cardboard cutout of what looked like a blue streak / silver streak using that mold. And the assumption was that we were probably going to see that one first in some shape or form. But it seems that that's not going to be the case, and it looks like we're going to be getting Smokescreen first of the Datsun brothers here. And what's cool about this is that it's a straight up, heavy resculpt. We kind of knew that this was coming also because when we saw the barricade kind of homage going on too, with we'll call it the Generation 1 Cybertron Siege barricade.
Yep.
So this isn't too much of a surprise. It's like a Seeker Jet. Certain things you just know are a matter of time. But unlike Seeker Jets, these guys all have like unique sculpts between each other. So you're always kind of curious of what's going to be changed from one to the other. What's really cool about this though, is on his door, we have some Cybertronian written on it, and it's the first time it looks like that we've had Cybertronian lettering used for numbers.
Yeah.
So we have the number 38 written on the door, which is what the original Smokescreen had on his door for the old Datsun model from the Diclon mold. So pretty cool stuff there. And, new head sculpt, the shoulder cannons, the gun, the whole 9 yards. This is supposedly, from what I'm reading online, it's going to be part of the Generations Selects line also.
Okay.
And it's going to be, its designation number is War for Cybertron or WFCS Selects 06. So it means that there's a whole bunch of other stuff in between that. So we're probably going to learn more about this as time progresses. Again, it's also going to be part of that 35th anniversary line that we were speculating back at Wonderfest a while back. The announced price for this is going to be $19.99, so it's the standard deluxe price more or less. There's not much to say about this aside from it's like, oh, hey, the Cybertronian on the side. Because we kind of knew, like, when you looked at the Prowl, you kind of knew, like, where this was going, what they're going to be doing. And when we saw the barricade, it even gave us a better idea because chances are that barricade was going to be the basis for Smokescreen because we looked at the sculpt and everything and went, oh, okay, we see where this is going. Because, again, like I said, Prowl, Blue Streak, and Smokescreen, they all have their own little unique head sculpts and stuff like that through Transformers history. Obviously, the original G1 toys didn't have that, but the Fluoro-Deary models in the TV show and then releases afterwards of, like, a best example, like the first time really that there was a separation, as silly as the sounds, was alternators.
Yeah, that's true.
Alternators had different head sculpts for each one of those individuals, although, mind you, Prowl was the Acura RSX at the time. They didn't use the Subaru for him, but the point is everyone had a unique head sculpt at the time. So to really emphasize that there is a difference outside of just even the G1 cartoon. So this is pretty cool. This is awesome. Definitely looking forward to it. I really like the Datsun brothers. They've always been really cool. I loved their Masterpiece counterparts also. So it's nice to have this not Datsun kind of Cybertronian design going on here. Definitely a pickup on my end. What do you think?
I think it's pretty cool. I like the fact that the numbers are like kind of like the new kind of thing that we're actually talking about. I think that's really interesting.
Yep.
And we don't get to see numbers a lot, and I don't know. I think it's really cool that. When did they start doing Cybertronian lettering and all that kind of stuff?
Was that if not counting, obviously, like if you go back to some of the super early movie toys, specifically, I want to say specifically Revenge of the Fallen, when they were putting like Cybertronian tattoos on Starscream and stuff.
Right.
I think the first time. See, now I'm looking at my collection. 1 sec.
Or even them, just them talking about, oh, this is old Cybertronian, and you get to actually see it, and then you could probably decipher it, or like within the fiction, I guess.
In the fiction, it's been since Beast Wars. Beast Wars really was, I want to say, the first time that stuff really was showing up.
But there was no like actual this is the alphabet of it kind of thing. It's just that they're saying
fans,
it offhand.
Fans figured it out very quickly. Sentinel and the inside of the Axelon had their own little Cybertronian on the screens and stuff, and then fans slowly started figuring it out. And this is like the early days of.
And did they actually? I guess they actually said stuff.
Yeah, and it actually did say stuff. But on toys, that. You know what? I think like the first time we had any kind of like hidden wording, but it wasn't Cybertronian, was Car Robots, Brave Maximus, which was the repaint of Fortress Maximus. He had a giant sword, which was like the super god sword.
Yeah.
And written on it, they did like this like inverted kind of lettering that said "Till all are one," and it's still Latin letters, but that was like the first time we kind of had like a hidden message in a lot of ways written on stuff. And then afterwards, it's sad to say, I'm kind of blanking. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone in the audience, but I want to say it was the MAGA Jazz. You know what I mean? Like, I want to say that it kind of started there. Because
No. Prior to that, no. What's his name? Sea Spray. The Sea Spray with the girlfriend tattoo.
I know you're. I'm trying to think, did that come before or after?
I want to say that was before.
You know,
I want to say that was before, because I remember you posted up a tweet. Yeah, I was like, oh, check this out! It's this girlfriend tattoo.
Yeah, I
know.
And
then after it was the whole.
I know I was the one.
Thing.
I know I was the one who pointed it out on my Twitter, but I'm trying to remember, was that Power of the Primes or was that Titan's Return? No, I think you're right.
I remember you posted that up first, and then the jazz stick came after and exploded.
You're right. Okay, so yeah, maybe it was Sea Spray first. There probably was something else. I'm staring like a.
I would have assumed the tattoos on Starscream from the movie toys. You know, that.
Well, that's why outside of like early movie, I don't know. I'm like staring a hole through my collection right now. I'm just like, oh man, I'm forgetting something. There's gonna be like there's gonna be like a Creo somewhere that I'm missing or something from my.
I think that's a good question for another day. But just to go back to the Smokescreen, I like the mold, and I like the fact that the mold is definitely kind of like, hey, can we do the engineering from the MP line, like kind of bring it down in the legs kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
I don't know, that's the impression I get from it.
It's almost like take the MP toy, take the budget, knock it down a bit, the budget, and then go like, how could we do this with the smaller budget for this deluxe price point? And it does an incredible job. You know what I mean? It does a really good job. I mean, there's not a lot of Siege toys that I'm like super excited about, but these, because a lot of them are kind of retreading a lot of the same stuff that I already have, but getting Cybertronian versions of classic characters is something I'm always game for. And so this is a prime example of that. All three of them, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing. Like when they were doing the whole War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron video games by not Activision, High Moon Studio, excuse me. I was all over that because that was stuff I always wanted. I always wanted to have Cybertronian versions of those. So this is the same thing. It totally barks up, that tree. And this is cool. This is awesome stuff. Let us know what you think, and also let us know if we missed something in Cybertronian lettering history. I know I'm doing this all off the top of my head.
Sorry.
I could easily probably Google it, but I mean, it's just, I know I must be forgetting something.